More than just a quick moment of introspection, D'Angelo's homage to his ex-girlfriend, Angie Stone, was a profoundly emotional display of love, admiration, and personal loss. The tribute was accompanied by a heartfelt message on social media that read, "This one hit so hard, loved watching her live, still in disbelief." These straightforward but moving words carried layers of meaning that went beyond his relationship with Angie Stone to include the significant influence she had on his life, career, and personal journey. To comprehend the depth of as part of D'Angelo's tribute, we must delve into the complex web of their relationship. During the 1990s and 2000s, both D'Angelo and Angie Stone were significant figures in the music industry. Their love affair was not only personal, but also entwined with their creative endeavors, making their bond unique. Angie Stone, a gifted singer, songwriter, and actress, was frequently praised as one of the key figures who helped shape the sound of neo-soul, a genre that blended the smoothness of soul music with elements of R&B, jazz, and funk. On the other hand, was regarded as one of the most innovative and charismatic musicians in the genre. Together, they formed a musical power couple with a significant impact on the music scene. D'Angelo's tribute to Angie Stone says a lot about their relationship, especially in light of how turbulent their romance was at one point. Over time, their paths diverged and they each pursued their own careers. But there was always their relationship had been one of mutual influence, with each of them inspiring the other in their music and art. D'Angelo's words also alluded to their bond as musicians, and the line "loved watching her lives" held particular weight in this context. He wrote that the loss hit so hard that it signified not just a romantic breakup, but also a recognition of the loss of someone who was a creative partner and a confidant. D'Angelo, a musical genius of his own, had frequently expressed his admiration for the way Angie interacted with her fans during her live performances. For him, seeing her live performances was more than just enjoying her music. It was also about witnessing the strength of a woman who could hold an audience's attention and communicate emotion in a way that was unadulterated, genuine, and unquestionably captivating. Expressed his admiration for Angie Stone's artistic qualities. Additionally, the phrase "still in disbelief" highlights a deeper emotional resonance for D'Angelo. Angie Stone wasn't just a figure from his past. She had left an indelible mark on his life. D'Angelo's disbelief wasn't just about her passing or their separation, but possibly about the transient nature of relationships and collaborations in the music industry, where connections and collaborations are frequently ephemeral. The message that D'Angelo sent out to the world also spoke to something that many fans of both artists felt deeply: in admiration for the way their music had shaped the cultural landscape both D'Angelo and Angie Stone had played. It reflected the painful reality of how time and circumstances can change everything. Even though years had passed since their personal relationship ended, the emotions remained raw, and the sense of disbelief suggested that the connection they once shared could never be fully erased, no matter how much time had passed. Important contributions to the neo movement, which gained popularity in the late 1990s. D'Angelo's famous Voodoo and Brown Sugar albums, as well as Angie Stone's work on Black Diamond and her subsequent endeavors, defined a period of music that was full of introspection, sensuality, and soul-searching. Their collaboration in music and life felt like a reflection of the genre's spirit, a complex balance of rawness and beauty, vulnerability and strength. D'Angelo's tribute also reveals D'Angelo's reference to "this one hitting so hard" could be interpreted in a variety of ways, but in this particular context, it probably alluded to the way that Angie Stone's death or departure from his life in some capacity had left him feeling a sense of loss, grief, and possibly even regret. They had a very personal relationship that was about more than just the music. It was about the bond they had developed over time, were with the person they became or the person we became without them. D'Angelo's tribute recognized that the emotional burden of such a loss was impossible to process, and the phrase "loved" held significance for those who comprehended the complexities of their musical collaboration. D'Angelo and Angie Stone were not merely musicians in the conventional sense. Rather, they were storytellers who used their music to convey the complexities of their relationships and lives. There was an emotional intimacy in watching someone so close to you succeed and shine, and D'Angelo's tribute captured that pride and admiration in reflecting on the impact of Angie Stone on his life. It was like watching her inner world unfold live as she bared her soul to the audience. D'Angelo, a former partner and admirer, probably felt a deep sense of connection and pride as he watched her command the stage. D'Angelo's tribute was more than just honoring a former star. It was about navigating the highs and lows of fame, the difficulties of being a black woman in the music industry, and the complexities of juggling her career and motherhood. Throughout it all, she had maintained a sense of authenticity and integrity that won her fans over. Love her, but also about paying respect to a creator who, in many respects, paved the path for others to follow. D'Angelo's homage to Angie Stone served as a reminder of D'Angelo's tribute, struck a chord with anyone who had experienced the anguish of losing someone who had once been a source of inspiration, love, and support. It also highlighted the shared history between two iconic figures of the neo-soul movement and how that history continued to shape their respective artistic visions. This demonstrated the profound and lasting impact that certain people can have on our lives. Journeys was a moment of quiet reflection in the face of a personal loss, a brief but meaningful acknowledgement of someone who had helped shape the soundtrack of D'Angelo's life, and his tribute to Angie Stone was ultimately a reminder that despite the passage of time and the changes that come with it, the emotional depth of our feelings can sometimes never be fully captured by words. Whether through their music or their private moments together, the bonds we form with others are never completely lost. D'Angelo's message to Angie Stone revealed a love that went beyond the material world and was indelibly marked in their shared history. Their relationship was one that entwined love music and personal development in ways that not only marked their personal lives, but also the development of neo-soul music. Their time together spanned the evolution of although their love story was full of joy and hardships, it represented a beautiful and complex chapter in both of their lives that undoubtedly influenced their careers and creative journeys. When discussing the relationship between D'Angelo and Angie Stone, it's important to place it within the larger context of their music careers. They were the most influential artists in the genre, and the impact of their relationship was reflected in the sounds and narratives they crafted in their music. With his albums Brown Sugar and Voodoo, which established a new benchmark for R&B in the late 1990s and early 2000s, D'Angelo was hailed as one of the most influential artists of the neo-soul movement, a genre that blended elements of R&B, jazz, funk, and gospel with a contemporary twist. Angie Stone, a key architect of the genre, was praised for her deep, soulful voice and her distinctive fusion of personal and socially conscious music. Although both artists enjoyed successful solo careers, their time together was particularly significant. The relationship between D'Angelo and Angie Stone started in the late 1990s, when both of their careers were taking off. Stone was already well known as an artist and a former member of the groundbreaking group, The Sequence, and she had contributed to the early work of artists like Lenny Kravitz and D'Angelo. When she and D'Angelo met, their mutual love of music drew them closer. D'Angelo was known for his smooth D'Angelo's creativity, confidence, and musical prowess inspired Angie Stone, who in turn was enthralled by Angie's powerful soulful voice and her ability to convey raw emotion in her music. Their mutual admiration for one another established the foundation for their relationship. Their partnership was more than just a romantic one. It was a meeting of minds that resulted in some of the greatest music of all time. One of the most noteworthy results of their relationship was their participation in each other's albums. Angie Stone's 1999 album, Black Diamond, included the song You Should Be Mine, which was co-written by D'Angelo. His contributions to her work were substantial and demonstrated the depth of their careers. Their mutual respect for each other's abilities and love of music led to their involvement in a variety of creative projects, some of which showcased their romantic and professional chemistry. Similar to how Angie Stone influenced D'Angelo in his work, he frequently complimented her on her vocal skills and her ability to infuse everything she touched with a sense of realism. However, like many high-profile relationships in the music industry, their relationship wasn't without its difficulties. Both D'Angelo and Angie Stone were gifted, ambitious people with complicated personalities, and juggling their personal relationships with their careers wasn't always simple in the beginning. The 2000s saw D'Angelo's career take off in a way that put a lot of strain on his personal life. His second album, Voodoo, was released in 2000, and the record's success solidified his place in music history. but the pressures that came with fame started to wear down D'Angelo and his relationship with Angie Stone. His career was strained, the music industry's demands, and the constant pressure to create and perform led to personal difficulties that the couple encountered. As two successful musicians in the same genre, their relationship was made more difficult by the nature of the music industry itself. There were times when their individual careers and the dynamics of their professional lives clashed. Although D'Angelo and Angie Stone were devoted to their music, this occasionally meant that their personal relationships suffered as a result of the emotional toll that juggling their personal desires and career ambitions took, ultimately leading to their separation. Despite the difficulties, both musicians remained respectful of one another on a professional and personal level, recognizing the influence they had on each other's music and lives over the years. D'Angelo and Angie Stone's relationship changed from romantic to friendly friendship and mutual admiration, and even though their romance may have ended, the influence of their time together endured in the music they produced. D'Angelo's 2000 album Voodoo is frequently regarded as one of the most significant albums in neo. His emotional journey during and after his relationship with Angie Stone can be reflected in soul history. The album explored themes of love, heartbreak, and emotional vulnerability, and many listeners interpreted it as D'Angelo's response to his personal struggles, including his romantic relationship with Stone. Angie Stone also continued to release music that reflected her own experiences with empowerment and love loss. Just after her relationship with D'Angelo ended, she released her album Mahogany Soul 2001. The album featured tracks that spoke to themes of self-discovery and healing. Angie Stone's post-D'Angelo music also emphasized her development as a woman and an artist, and she became more outspoken about the value of preserving independence, self-respect, and confidence even in the face of personal difficulties. Despite their split, both musicians were able to carve out their own careers and keep adding to the larger musical landscape. D'Angelo's absence from the music scene following the fans were affected by the release of Voodoo, but when he returned in 2014 with his album Black Messiah, the world celebrated his comeback. Black Messiah received praise from critics, and many saw it as a triumphant return for the artist who had long been regarded as the face of neo-soul. Angie Stone also continued to release music, with her albums covering a range of topics from self-love to social justice. Her strong voice and songwriting skills remained a testament to her skill as an artist and her fortitude in the face of personal and professional difficulties. Even as they pursued their separate careers, D'Angelo and Angie Stone never completely separated themselves from the music and feelings they shared. Their influence on each other's work remained strong, and their bond was firmly based on mutual respect. Even though their romantic relationship ended, their connection remained strong on a professional level, demonstrating how formative their experiences together were. D'Angelo's personal and professional tributes to Angie Stone demonstrated that their time together had a lasting impact on him. He acknowledged her influence on his music by frequently mentioning her in interviews as a source of inspiration, and each artist continued to honor their time together through their respective works. As years went by, and both artists continued their careers, their connection and respect for one another did not fade. The relationship between D'Angelo and Angie Stone, two artists who met at a pivotal point in their careers and influenced the sounds of neo-soul, was not without its difficulties, but ultimately it served as a reminder of the complexity of love and creativity in the pursuit of personal development. Their time together may have been short, but the effects of their relationship, both personally and professionally, lasted for. As we reflect on the relationship between D'Angelo and Angie Stone, we are reminded of the beauty that can result from love, collaboration, and the shared journey of creative discovery. Their music continues to resonate with listeners worldwide, and their time together is a testament to the power of music to capture the essence of human connection, both the highs and the lows. For many years, they were in many ways a reflection of the genre itself, soulful, raw, vulnerable, and deeply human. Stone's connection had an impact on both their personal and professional life, which will be seen in the music they produced.